Attorney Zach Ritchie with the Marc Lopez law firm here today to talk to you about what you're typically going to face when charged with an operating a vehicle while intoxicated charge, or in Indiana more commonly known as a DUI. There are many different levels to an operating a vehicle while intoxicated charge, and depending on the severity of that charge, that will typically determine what sentence you are likely to receive. Starting with the least serious offense, in Indiana, an OVWI can be a Class C misdemeanor punishable by up to 60 days in jail. Typically, if a person operates a vehicle while intoxicated, they're going to be charged with a Class C misdemeanor in Indiana. Examples of that can be falling asleep at a drive-thru, or if you're unfortunate to be stopped by a sobriety checkpoint. If you're stopped for operating a vehicle while intoxicated and the state alleges that you endangered a person, that will likely be charged as a Class A misdemeanor punishable by up to 365 days in jail. Endangering a person can mean quite a few different things. If you're in a minor accident and no one is hurt, the state is going to allege that you endangered a person while operating a vehicle while intoxicated. But the state can still allege that you endangered a person even if you're not in a crash. Examples of this could be if you're pulled over for speeding, if you're stopped at a red light, anything of that nature. You can still be charged with a Class A misdemeanor for endangering a person while operating a vehicle while intoxicated. Surprisingly enough, the person that the state alleges you endangered doesn't necessarily have to be someone else. It can be yourself. So if you're driving at a high rate of speed and you get pulled over for operating a vehicle while intoxicated, while you might not have hurt anyone else, the state can allege that you endangered yourself by being intoxicated and driving at a high rate of speed. Similarly, you can endanger yourself or other people's on the road if you're driving too slow. A common example of this is driving too slow on the interstate. Well, people might think it's safer to drive slower if the flow of traffic is going at a higher rate of speed and you're impeding that traffic by going slower. The state can allege that you're endangering yourself and other people on the road. In most circumstances, if you're facing an A misdemeanor or C misdemeanor operating a vehicle while intoxicated charge in Indiana, you're most likely looking at some sort of probation time, and the state more than likely is not going to be asking for additional jail time. However, that is dependent upon county and dependent on the judge that you're in front of. Typically, in most instances, you're not going to spend more than an overnight in jail, and that's from your initial arrest. There are many circumstances, however, where you can be facing felony charges even for a first time operating a vehicle while intoxicated charge. The circumstances in which you can be charged as a felon for a first-time OVWI charge in Indiana can vary. One example is if you're driving a vehicle while intoxicated and you have a small child under the age of 18 in your car. Even if you don't cause any accident, even if you're not speeding, if the police pull you over and they believe that you're operating a vehicle while intoxicated with a child under the age of 18, that automatically is going to be filed as a level 6 felony punishable by up to 2.5 years in the Indiana Department of Corrections. Another way that you could be charged as a felon for a first-time operating a vehicle while intoxicated offense is if you seriously hurt someone in a crash. An example of this can be you get into a serious car crash, the person in the other vehicle has to be taken to a hospital for whatever reason. That typically will be charged as a felony even if it's your first-time OVWI offense because you hurt someone to the extent that they had to be in a hospital. Accordingly, if you kill someone while operating a vehicle while intoxicated, that's automatically going to be a felony in the state of Indiana that can carry a substantial amount of prison time. Being charged with a crime is a very scary experience, especially if it's your first time. If you're being faced with an OVWI charge and it's your first time, we're here to help. Please give us a call at the Marc Lopez Law Firm, 317-632-3642, and always remember, plead the fifth.